Sharpen your stakes, shine up your crosses and get whipping. Dracula has risen from the grave, and with Professor Van Helsing busy, it's up to Simon Belmont to visit the terrifying vampire's castle and put the death nail into his undead heart. It's Castlevania for the Nintendo Entertainment System. Developed by Konami and released in 1987 and 88 in NTSC and PAL regions respectively, Castlevania is a 2D platform game that has you play as Simon, a member of the legendary Belmont family, who for centuries has been tasked with stopping Dracula every 100 years. The goal is to visit every area of Drac's castle and vanquish the hordes of undead nasties that litter every room and floor. It's truly a horror fanatic's dream, as almost every major horror heavyweight is well represented in this game, from Frankenstein's monster, the Mummy and Medusa to giant vampire bats, Death himself and of course the king of the undead, Dracula. Simon's main attack consists of using his whip, which is extremely effective at killing almost everything, and in order to do so he will need to power it up by finding various whip upgrades scattered throughout the level. The vampire hunter can even pick up some cool secondary weapons to help tip the scales back in his favour, and will be picking up spears, holy water, flying crosses, a stopwatch to freeze time, and if he is really lucky he will be able to power them up to deal with the never ending obstacles this game throws at you. In order to fuel these attacks, however, Simon will need to collect hearts, and lots of them, as these are what powers these weapons, and there's nothing worse than running out of hearts right when you need to use a specific weapon in a tough situation. The controls themselves are deliberately stiff, with Simon's jump painfully slow and purposeful, with no way to control it when he is in mid-air, and of course the knockback effect that occurs whenever Simon makes contact with an enemy will drive you insane as he flies back, and if there is a pit next to him then you better believe he will fall down it and die. So expect to lose often, turn the air blue and pull out your hair, because this is a game that pushes your buttons like no other. Castlevania is not a bad game, however it's very addictive and satisfying when you finally achieve overcoming a tough hurdle, but before you do the game forces you to die until you finally figure out the solution and move a little further. I can only compare it to being an American football player trying to score the winning touchdown, but is being blocked by every single member of the opposing team, pushing you back when you are trying to push forward. It's a real tug of war. I mean, the fact I had to input a Game Genie code just to show off some more of this game shows you what this game can put you through. But this was the good old days when games forced you to get good at them no matter what. Castlevania does however have a few flaws which really makes this game a little unfair at times. Now, despite me dying time and time again and shouting the house down, I don't have a problem with the obstacles, bosses or levels or challenges. In fact, I applaud the fact this game is balls to the wall hard. It's just that Konami decided that when you get a game over you can continue, but you start at the very beginning of the level you were on if you have no lives, so you have to work your way back to where you were before. So if you were battling death and wanted to beat him and didn't and fancy another shot, but wait a minute, you have no lives, then you can't carry on from the checkpoint and must do the level from the start. Also, sometimes I would accidentally fall off the many stairs that are in this game and die, which goes to show that this game does not mess around. So if you make a move in this game, then you must commit to it, even though you could potentially fall on your face. You do however kind of learn how to play correctly with each failed attempt, plus it's not as if the game makes you jump through countless hoops without any help. I mean, more often than not the solution is to whip candles until the game finally gives you the weapon you need to succeed. This is never more evident than later on in the game, as Simon is pushed to limits by knights, Medusa heads, and then after that debacle he must do battle with death. The graphics, however, are some of the best I've ever seen on the NES. I mean, this is Konami, so I would expect nothing less. Each section of the castle is extremely well detailed, and the enemies all look just like you would imagine them to be, and there's lots of them too. This was the norm for many 8-bit platformers back in the day. And guess what? They all respawn if you go off the screen. Oh joy. Still, the music and sound effects are perfect accompaniment to the intense sweat-inducing whip-cracking action that you undertake. So, can I recommend Castlevania today? Well, only if you know that this game is NES hard, and by that I mean it will beat you many times before you beat it. It truly is a classic game, but again Konami really should have inputted a password system and allowed you to continue from checkpoints even after losing all of your lives. Now I want to add that this game would still be hard doing this, but at least you wouldn't have to keep repeating tough sections that you have clearly mastered time and time again. This I feel would also reduce some of the frustration felt with a game of this calibre. I would probably recommend the second game on the NES, which is called Simon's Quest. This is a little easier on the player from a combat point of view, and whilst the puzzles may be cryptic, they are at least fun to figure out, even though you may need an FAQ to work out what's going on. I didn't grow up with this game, but playing it today, it's one of those games that forces you to become good at the game, even though some of its methods are borderline masochistic. Still, its saving grace is when you finally figure out how to get through a tough section of the stage, or being able to beat that boss who has beaten you down time and time again. This game makes you want to press continue, to put the knowledge that you have learnt into practice. It is a game worth playing, but one which requires a good few hours of focus, practice and repetition to finally master. Oh, and did I mention meditation? Thank you for watching, and if you have enjoyed my review, why not show me some love and smash that like button and subscribe to my channel for more retro video game reviews. Take care, and I will see you next time.